Good morning, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us today. My name is Irina Babrova. I'm Chief Operating Officer here at Pitbull Tax Software, and I have here with me William Beiswanger, our sales representative, and Dylan Schrager, our retention manager. Today, three of us, we're going to host this webinar, IRS Transcripts Analysis Made Simple. And I am happy that we're going to talk about something else than PPPs, EIPs, EIDLs, and many other stuff that CARES Act brought to the table. So there is a lot of unfairness, a lot of frustration from both sides, from clients and tax professionals alike. But we have to be grateful to God that we have jobs. Our profession is in high demand right now. We are able to work from home. We can still support our families, and that's what we are grateful for. It's a time of great opportunities right now, so let's seize those opportunities. But today we're going to talk about something else. Our topic is IRS Transcripts Analysis Made Simple. It is presented by Pitbull Tax Institute. It's our educational branch. And Pitbull Tax Institute is approved continuing education provider by the IRS and NASBA. So this webinar is eligible for 1 CE or 1 CPE credit. In order to get this credit, you must be in attendance for this 1 hour and answer at least 3 polling questions out of the 4 questions that we're going to launch during this time. So please be attentive, listen to what we present, and you will get your credits. We're trying to process all certificates within the next 1 or 2 weeks. So you're going to get your certificate in the mail. And for enrolled agents, we are going to report your CE credits to the IRS in the same time. For CPAs, you just keep your certificate. It will be attachment in the email. You save it to your folder and present when needed. Let me check my notes. So we have handouts loaded in your GoToWebinar tool. Look under handouts. So we have presentation slides and handout materials. So you can download it from there. It's 2 PDF files. Presentation will be done on the presentation slides. You can follow us on that file. And handout materials contains a lot of detailed information on how to use IRS transcripts, different definition of IRS transcript types, a lot of samples of transcripts and reports that we're going to show during this presentation. If you have any questions, please fire it away under questions. You can put your questions, and Dylan Schrager and I are going to answer them. And if we have time at the end, we're going to go live with some of them as well. So right now, let's check the audio. And if you can hear me fine, please say hi and where you're from. And if you cannot hear, please rejoin the GoToWebinar on the same link. Okay, so I see a lot of highs, Naples, Oklahoma City, Jacksonville, Ohio, Philadelphia, Texas, New Orleans, Houston, okay, Missouri, Denver, San Francisco. Thank you so much for waking up, California, Miami, New Jersey. So we have a lot of people. I guess sounds is good. And let's start it. Will, can you please move to the next slide? Mm-hmm. Okay, perfect. So the learning objectives of today's webinar, after this 1 hour, we should be able to identify different types of IRS transcripts. We should learn how to request IRS transcripts. We are going to refresh knowledge on how CSATs are calculated. We're going to learn how to use Pitbull Tax software to pull IRS transcripts and get analytical reports generated. And we're going to understand how to receive daily alerts on important changes on your client's accounts. Let's start a quick refresher on types of transcripts, because I still see a lot of questions from customers and a lot of questions from tax professionals on the Facebook forums and LinkedIn forums about different types. So there are multiple types of transcripts. The first one is tax return transcript. It shows most line items, including AGI from the original tax return filed, along with any forms and schedules. Tax return transcript is available for 1040 series, 1065, and 1120 series. This transcript is only available for the current tax year and returns processed during the prior 3 years. So be very careful by the current tax year. We are in 2020 right now, and current tax year is 2019. So we are preparing tax returns for the 2019, so that's a current tax year. So tax return transcript is available for 2019, 18, 17, and 16. The next type of transcript is account transcript. This is transcript type that we use the most in our tax resolution area. So it shows basic data such as return type, marital status, amount of taxes, amount of accrued penalties and interest. It shows taxable income, self-employed income, when the return was filed, and all transactions that happened after you filed the return. So whether there was an audit, additional assessment of taxes, when you appoint a representative, any actions on the payments, installment agreement, offering compromise, bankruptcy, and you name it. So all histories of what happened with a return after it was filed, or even if it was not filed, will be recorded on account transcript. And this transcript type is available for any year where taxpayer had filed a tax return or had reportable income. The next type of transcript is a record of account. Will, can you move the slide, please? Mm-hmm. And this is simply a combination of the tax return and account transcript above. So it's one complete transcript consisting of the two. And because it contains tax return transcripts, it's also available only for the current tax year and the 3 prior years. The next type of transcript is wage and income transcript. It shows data from information reports filed to the IRS by employers, by banks, financial institutions, mortgage companies, investment brokers, and so on and so forth. So all your W-2s, 1099s, 1098s, 5498s will be reported on W-2, on wage and income transcript. And this type of transcript is available only for the prior 10 years. So if you need wage and income transcripts for more than 10 years before, you will not be able to get it. The next transcript type is separate assessment transcript. It's also known as mirrored account transcript. It's very similar to account transcript, but it's used to show transaction history when tax liability from married filing jointly account is split. This split and mirroring can be triggered by different cases when you file innocent spouse claim or bankruptcy discharge, offering compromise by just one spouse, criminal restitution, etc. This transcript type will be available for any year where a taxpayer had a married filing joint liability and it was later split or mirrored by the IRS. Another type of transcript is civil penalties. This type of transcript you will pull when you are dealing with trust fund recovery penalty for an individual taxpayer. So trust fund recovery penalty will be assessed and shown on the civil penalties transcript. Or for a business, it's usually showing assessed balances when there is a missed or late filing of W-2s and W-3s. It is available for any year or quarter where there is a civil penalty assessment. Next type of transcript is TXMODA transcript. So this is the most detailed transcript that you can see, and it contains very specific information. It has the CSAT, it has RSAT, ASAT, all the collection and assessment and refund statute dates will be shown right there. It includes all notice statuses, history items, control basis, and even pending transactions. Just a word of caution, TXMODA transcripts are not available through e-services, so you will not be able to request it through there. You can call practitioner priority service, of course, when it will be opened up again, and request TXMODA. Be prepared that a lot of assisters on the phone, they don't understand what TXMODA transcript is, so you will have to talk again to a different person until they find out what TXMODA transcript. In your handout materials, I included the sample of TXMODA transcript, and it is very difficult to read. So if you don't have experience with TXMODA transcripts, just take a look at the sample. A lot of codes and a lot of confusion with the CSATs. So you have to really understand when TXMODA transcript was generated, and the date is right on that transcript. Because we have some customers call us and they say, well, we compared your estimated CSAT report with TXMODA transcript and it doesn't match. Well, because the CSATs are very fluid matter, so they change all the time, because the tolling event may not close yet, and many other different factors. So it depends on when the TXMODA transcript was generated. For example, in the sample that I posted in handout materials, I just received a FOIA request a couple of weeks ago on one of my clients that I'm doing audit reconsideration for, and that TXMODA transcript was generated in 2017. Of course, when I compared it to Pitbull Tax estimated CSATs, it doesn't match, and it's perfectly fine. So just a word of caution, and you cannot request it through e-services or Pitbull Tax. And the last type of transcript is verification of non-filing letter. It provides a proof that IRS never received your filed Form 1040 series for the year requested. It is available after June 15th for the current tax year, or anytime for the prior 3 tax years. And it is available only for individual taxpayers. So these are the types of transcripts. And now let's quickly go over how to get IRS transcripts. You can call practitioner priority service at the number listed here. Of course, right now, practitioner priority service is closed, so you will not be able to call, but we hope that the situation will change very soon, and we can request transcripts right there. With PPS and Pitbull Tax, what's very handy is when you call PPS and they put your IRS transcripts for your clients in your secure mailbox, they are automatically pulled into Pitbull Tax software, and our analytical reports will be generated. Another option to get IRS transcripts is by filing Form 4506T. Be prepared that you need to wait at least 10 business days, and it will come in the mail. With those, you will not be able to run them through Pitbull Tax and generate any reports, because it's all manual transcripts. You can use transcript delivery system under your e-services account. You can pull IRS transcripts, and that's about it. That's what you will get. You will have to analyze all the transcripts yourself. And the last option, and of course we recommend it the most, is to use IRS transcript delivery from Pitbull Tax software or our standalone version, Pitbull Tax Transcripts. With this option, you will not only get the IRS transcripts downloaded to your computer, but also analytical reports will be generated with all information useful for your analysis. And you can use our daily alerts and Will is going over this a little bit later. So now let's launch our first polling questions for today. Give me a second. Okay, if today is April 21, 2020, for what years you can get record of account for an individual taxpayer? 2016, 17, and 18, 17, 18, and 19, 16, 17, 18, and 19, or any year where returns were filed? I'm going to give you a few seconds to answer this question. Okay, 5 more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And I'm going to close this poll. And the correct answer is 2016, 17, 18, and 19. Remember, record of account is a combination of tax return and account transcript, and it's available only for the current tax year and the prior 3 years. Perfect. So 43% answered it right, and I think I was not doing my job right, because 43% is kind of low number. But now let's move on, and let's quickly refresh the CSAT formula. So how CSAT is calculated? CSAT stands for Collection Statute Expiration Date. This is very important piece of information because it depends on all our tax resolution options. It depends on whether we want to do offering compromise, CNC, installment agreement, and so on and so forth. So we need to know the theory behind how the CSAT is calculated. So the formula is very simple. So we take assessment date, we add 10 years, we add number of tolling days, we add number of additional tolling days, and we add 1 day. And this 1 day, it's our formula with Pitbull Tax. So we did it just in case to be sure that we don't miscalculate. So 1 day is like a safety net in our calculations. So the tolling days are counted by the start and end of tolling events. And let's see what tolling events for CSAT are there. So offering compromise is tolling collection statute plus additional 30 days if it is rejected. Remember, only if rejected, it is adding 30 days. If offering compromise is accepted, it's not going to add this additional 30 days. Bankruptcy also tolls the statute plus 180 days. CDP hearing extends the statute plus additional 30 days, but not equivalency hearing. So if you file equivalency hearing, that will not toll your statute. That's another strategy to exploit, and we've covered it on during our prior webinars. Innocent spouse claim also toll the statute plus 90 days. Next slide, please. Pending installment agreement plus 30 days if terminated and it still has balance. Military deferment also extends the statute plus 180 days. Tax court petition filing will toll the statute plus 60 days. Absence from the US for more than 6 months. This information you will never find on any transcript, but you have to know that if you have a situation with a taxpayer who lives abroad, that toll the statute. And finally, taxpayer assistance order, our Form 911 filings under IRC 7811D, it told the statute. However, IRS does not enforce it. So in all Pitbull tax calculations, taxpayer assistance orders, they don't toll the statute. I'm going to give you a quick example of how CSAT is calculated. So here you see a screenshot of account transcript. And first thing, in order to calculate CSAT, you need to find all assessment events because the formula starts with assessment event. I highlighted in red 3 assessment events in this transcripts: tax return filed, miscellaneous penalty, and additional tax assessed by examinations. Then you have to start looking for tolling events that I discussed before. So in this transcript, there is one tolling event code 480 received offering compromise on 9/26/2017, and it was accepted code 780 on 6/14/2018. Next slide, please. This is a screenshot from our CSAT report from Pitbull Tax, and you will see all these assessment events with amounts and dates, and tolling events when it was started and ended. So one tolling event is 261 days. So I just subtracted 6/14/2018 minus 9/26/2017. It will get us 261 days. Simple Excel formula will get you the number. Assessment number 1, tax return filed. So assessment date is 8/8/2016. Plus 10 years, 3,652 days. So in any 10-year period, there are 2 leap years. So 3,652 days, not 3,650. Then we add 261 tolling days. And because the offer was accepted, there is no additional 30 days added here. And then in our formula, we add 1 day for safety net, and we will get the date of April 4, 2027. Assessment number 2 and 3, they have the same assessment date, so the CSAT will be the same for both. So it's May 1st, 2017, plus 3,652 days, plus 261 tolling days, plus 1 day. It's January 18, 2028. But look at the estimated CSAT in the report. It shows April 15, 2019. Why is that? Can you please move back to the prior slide? You see highlighted in green, there is a code 604, write-off of balance due. So because offering compromise was accepted, the IRS written off the balance and there is no more tax. That's why collection statute is stopped in this case, and that's why we override the calculation on the formula with this date 4/15/2009. So that's how the CSATs are basically calculated. There are, of course, many more details that go into this. It's if it will be that simple, I will be not so concerned. But there are many tolling events. Sometimes each event can have 3 or 4 tolling events, and then they start overlapping. And then when they start overlapping, you cannot count the same period twice. So you have to reduce the amount of days by this overlapping number of days. So again, there are cases with bankruptcy, for example, when tax debt was discharged in bankruptcy, you will also see that estimated CSAT does not exactly correspond to the formula. So we have quite a number of customers requests with this, like why is the estimated CSAT is not even 10 years? Well, because you need to look at the transcript and see what happens. So in most cases, it's either bankruptcy discharge or offering compromise accepted, and the balance was written off. Okay, And now, of course, you don't need to know all these details if you have Pitbull Tax software, because it calculates everything for you. And now Will is going to take over and he'll show you how to use it. Take it away, Will.
Hello. Thanks, Irina. Hello, everyone. My name's William Beiswinger. I'm a sales representative with Pitbull Tax Software. And as Irina mentioned, I'm going to get into how to pull the transcripts and get the analytical reports directly through Pitbull Tax Software. So our software, our transcript delivery and reporting software, is offered in two different versions. We have our integrated version as an add-on to our full IRS representation software. And then we have the standalone version, which is just the transcript delivery and reporting software sold as its own product. Okay, so as I mentioned before, the Pitbull Tax software version with the integrated IRS transcript delivery and reporting add-on, it's available as an integrated add-on to the Pitbull Tax software, and all data from the account transcripts flows directly to Pitbull Tax software forms and tools. So when you pull transcripts directly through the software with the full Pitbull Tax software, it will directly flow the income tax liability and the CSED dates from the transcripts you pull into the software, into the forms you're using for IRS representation. And this does require purchase of the full Pitbull Tax software license before you can get the integrated IRS transcript delivery and reporting add-on. And then, as I mentioned on the last slide, we also do have the Pitbull Tax transcripts as a standalone version of the software. So it works as its own standalone web-based application. And this version doesn't require purchase of the Pitbull Tax software license. So that's why we refer to it as the standalone, because it's just the transcript delivery and reporting software in itself, not as an add-on for any other software. Okay, we have 500% faster speed than pulling the transcripts directly through TDS. So it takes less than 6 seconds to pull IRS transcripts for 1 year to get analytical reports generated. So when you go to pull the transcripts through the software, it takes about 6 seconds per year to pull those individual years of transcripts, and then it'll instantly generate the analytical reports once it pulls those transcripts into the software. Okay, what you need to use the Pitbull Tax transcripts. Irina mentioned a little bit about this before, but I'll get into a little bit more detail about it. You will have to have the access to IRS e-services with secure access to TDS, which is the IRS's transcript delivery system. You will need to sign up for that to use the Pitbull Tax transcript software. If you haven't already. I know a lot of you already have an e-services account set up with TDS, and if you have the e-services account set up, but you haven't attached TDS to it, you can always call them and they'll attach TDS to your e-services account.
Will, can I launch a second poll question?
Yeah, of course.
Give me a second. Okay, which of the following events does not toll or extend collection statute of limitations? Offering compromise, taxpayer assistance order, military deferment, or bankruptcy? Please take a few seconds to answer this question. And I see a lot of questions about handout materials, on which page certain samples are located. There is a table of contents in that PDF. I know there are a lot of pages, so use table of contents and corresponding number next to the sample you need. And the webinar is being recorded, so yes, you will get a recording as well. Okay, I'm going to close this poll in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, the correct answer is taxpayer assistance order. Thank you so much. You listened to me. So 60% of voters answered it correctly. Will, please continue.
All right, so the other thing you'll need to pull transcripts through the Pitbull Tax Transcript software is you will have to have either a 2848 or an 8821 registered with the CAF unit of the IRS. So you will have to get a power of attorney signed or 8821 signed and fax over to the CAF unit, and then they'll have to register it. And once it is processed through the CAF unit, then you'll be able to pull unlimited transcripts for that particular client through Pitbull Tax Transcript software. Okay, what is IRS Secure Access? So if you haven't used TDS before and you're not familiar with Secure Access, it helps protect online tools in 2 ways. It has a more rigorous identity proofing process, which helps ensure the users are who they say they are, and it requires returning users to use a 2-factor access process by entering their credentials, their username and password, that would be for TDS, plus a security code sent as a text message to their mobile phone or security code generated by the new IRS To Go app feature. So every time you go to log into TDS, or if you go to connect with your TDS account through Pitbull Tax Transcript software, it's gonna send you a secure access code. So by default, it sends a secure access code to your mobile phone. There you can access the code and then type it in to either our software, or you can also type it into our mobile app that we have as well. So we have a mobile app that you can use when you're on the go. If you're not at your PC and you have transcripts to pull, you can enter the secure access code into our mobile app also. And it does mention the IRS To Go app feature here as well. So you can have it set up to send the code to your IRS To Go app instead of to your mobile phone as a text message. That is another option in receiving the secure access code. Okay, the Pitbull Tax Connector setup and IRS transcript delivery process. I'm gonna get into how to set up the connector here, and that's what connects our software with your TDS account so you can pull transcripts through the software. Okay, so the first thing that you'll do is you'll go to our website, since all the software itself is cloud-based, besides the connector, which I'll explain a little bit more about. So once you go to pitbulltax.com, it'll take you to our home page here, and then all you have to do is click the login button in the top right corner, and then it'll take you to our login page here. So as I mentioned before, we have the full IRS representation software with the integrated version of the transcripts as an add-on, and then the standalone version of just the transcript delivery and reporting software in itself. You would select the login on the left-hand side if you have the full IRS representation software with the add-on. And if you just have the standalone transcripts as its own software, you'll click the login on the right. Okay, so the first thing that you'll do is you'll need to download the connector onto your computer. So this is a screenshot of the full IRS representation software. And to download the connector, all you have to do is you click Settings, and then you go to IRS Transcripts. So if you can see that here, you see the drop down for Settings, and then you would select IRS Transcripts, the second from the bottom there, and that will take you to this page. So once you see the IRS Transcript Settings section, you'll just have to click that link there that says Download Pitbull Tax Connector for Windows. Once you click that, it'll go ahead and download the connector onto your PC, which is the only thing from Pitbull Tax software that is downloaded onto your computer, because your IRS username and password and your CAF number are saved into that connector. So that's the one thing that has to be downloaded on your computer, because we're not allowed to save that information onto our servers. So it has to be saved onto your PC, and it is all encrypted as well. Okay, so here's what the connector looks like. So once you download the connector onto your PC and you go ahead and you open it up, this is what it will look like here. So you'll see the area to enter your username, your password, your CAP number, and your secure token. So you'll enter your username and password for your TDS account on eServices, not your Pitbull Tax username and password. It will be your TDS account. And then you type in your CAP number right below that, and then you'll just paste that secure token that you saw there in red right below where you click to download the connector. Okay, once you do all that, you can just check the box that says Save Credentials, and then anytime you open the connector, this will all be saved in here, so you won't have to retype all that information in every time you go to connect with your TDS account through Pitbull Tax software. Then you'll just need to select your organization. It'll be whatever organization you have associated with your TDS account on irs.gov. And once you select that, you just click Save. And then it will it'll go from turned off, the connector status, to online. Before that, it'll have you type in your secure access code that I mentioned before. So once you click saved on the connector, it will send you a secure access code to your cell phone, and you'll get a pop-up in the software that'll have you type in that secure access code, and then the connector will go online. Okay, so once the connector is online, you know you are connected with your TDS account, and you're able to access any transcripts that you can access with your TDS account. So first, you'll have to create them as a client. So you would create them as a client in the software. You enter their first and last name and their social security number, because those are the things that you will need to enter before you can pull transcripts. The rest of the information you won't have to enter just yet, but to pull the transcripts, you will have to have the social security number and the first and last name of the taxpayer. So once you go ahead and you have that entered there, you have the client selected in the software, then it'll take you to where you can request the transcripts. You'll see right below, as Irina mentioned before, the different types of transcripts. You'll be able to select those different types of transcripts in the request transcript section. So you'll see the account transcripts, the wage and income, the tax return transcripts, the record of account, the civil penalties, and the separate assessment. And then you'll just be able to select the years for the different types of transcripts you wish to pull. So as you can see, some of the years are checked off for the different types of transcripts. And once you've selected the years that you wanted for the different types of transcripts, all you have to do is just select that Get Transcripts button right there in red. Okay, for businesses, you can also pull any of the business transcripts as well. All you have to do is you select that little radio button at the top next to individual. You'll select the business one, and that'll switch it over to the business name and the EIN rather than the first and last and social security number. So then you'll select one of your business clients, and make sure you have the business name and the EIN in there. And then the process will work the same from there. You just select the different years of type of transcripts you want, and then just hit Get Transcripts in red.
Well, stay on this slide for just a second. I just want to make sure that if you need to request tax return transcript for Forms 1120s or 1065, there is a checkbox at the bottom for tax return. Or if your client is on a fiscal year, you can also request transcripts on a fiscal year. There are also checkboxes at the bottom. Thank you.
You can also, if you don't want to check every year for the transcripts you're going to pull, you can select through consecutive periods. So if you wanted to just pull 2015 through 2019 and then just pull account transcripts and wage and income for those years, all you have to do is just select the consecutive periods button in the top right. You see to the right of the box here, you see the consecutive periods link. You'll click that and it'll open up this little box. And then you can type from 2015 to 2019 or whatever consecutive periods you're looking to pull. And then you can just check the type of transcripts and click apply. And then it'll automatically apply those years for you for the different type of transcripts that you wish to pull. So you don't have to check every single box for all the different types of transcripts. Okay. You also have the ability to schedule transcript polls to be pulled at a future time. This is what I was mentioning is the benefit of using our mobile app to type in the secure access code, because if you are scheduling transcript deliveries and you're not in your office and your connector is trying to connect to run those scheduled transcript deliveries, you can type that secure access code into your mobile app when you're not at your computer. But to actually schedule the transcript delivery, all you have to do is click the schedule transcript delivery button right at the bottom right below the get transcripts button, and it'll open this little box here. So you'll see you can choose every day, every week, once a month. You can select the intervals, and then you can also select what days, time you want it to begin on, and then how long you want it to run for. So you can edit every aspect of how you want the scheduled transcript delivery to run, and then you can also check whether or not you want it active. So if you don't want to have the scheduled transcript delivery for a particular client to keep running, you can just check that active box, well, uncheck it rather, and then it will stop running that transcript delivery for that particular client. Okay, so you can also schedule CAF checks as well. So if you just fax over a POA to the IRS and you want to know when the CAF check passes and when you're able to pull transcripts through the software for that particular client, you can go ahead and schedule CAF checks in the software. So similar to the way the scheduled transcript delivery works, you just click the schedule CAF check button right below the CAF check button there, and it'll be very similar to the scheduled transcript delivery. You'll select every day, once a week, once a month. You'll set the intervals and when you want it to begin and how long you want it to run for. But with the scheduled CAF check, you also have the option to check that box at the bottom to pull transcripts when all CAF checks are passed. So this way it'll run the CAF check every interval that you set it for, and then when it does pass, it'll automatically pull those transcripts once it does pass that you have power of attorney on file with the CAF unit. Okay. So once you do go ahead and request the transcripts through the software, it's going to take you to the view transcripts page. So this is what the view transcripts page will look like. It'll show you all the transcripts that you have recently requested within the last 30 days, and you can also filter it as well. But so you see here, you see the client name, the type of transcripts. So you see the top two are account transcripts, the bottom two are wage and income. So you'll be able to see what type of transcript it is there. And then you'll also see the period, so what years it's for. So as you can see, both of these are for 2018 and 19. And then it says results there right next to it. Right now it says request in progress. So that means it's still processing the request, trying to pull the transcripts through TDS. And once it goes ahead and it pulls that, it will change from request in progress to view transcript, as you see here. So once it changed to view transcript, then it's an actual link that you can click on. And once you click that link, it'll open all the individual transcripts from the IRS. So if you click the top one, the account transcript for 2015, you click the view transcript, it's gonna open up that individual year 2015 account transcripts directly from the IRS. So you'll be able to access all the individual transcript years directly from the IRS right here. And you can also click to download it directly to the right, right on the left of the trash can button to delete it. That button will download it.
Well, let me interrupt you for another poll. Okay. The third poll question is, how many additional tolling days are added to the CSAT for accepted offer in compromise? 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, or 0? I'm going to close the poll in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, the correct answer is 0. Remember, accepted offering compromise, they don't add additional tolling days to the statute. So only 52% answered it correctly. I am disappointed in you guys. So keep it up listening, please. Continue, Will, please.
All right, so you guys have seen the view transcript page. This is where you'll see all the individual transcript years. And then you can go from there to the view reports page. So this is where you're gonna see all the reports that our software, that the Pitbull Tax Transcript software instantly generates when you do pull multiple years of account transcripts. So as you can see here, it's set up similar. You see the client, the periods, and then the view report. But instead of being all the individual years of transcripts, it's going to be the reports that ours generates, and it takes all the information from the individual years and puts it into our nice, easy to read reports. So it works the same though. You click the link under view report to view the report, and then you can click the button to the left of the trash can to download it, and you can click the trash can to delete it. Okay, so here are the examples of our reports that it generates every time you pull account transcripts. So this has the businesses and the individual, but it's the income tax liability report, the compliance report, the estimated collection statute or expiration date, the CSED report, the first time penalty abatement report, eligibility report, civil penalties, estimated civil penalty CSED, payroll tax liability, both the 941 and the 940 for the business clients when you pull the business transcript reports, the bankruptcy dischargeability report, the account transcript summary report, and then our payments, adjustments, and other credits report. Okay, now I'm going to show you the actual examples of all those reports. So when you pull multiple years of account transcripts, it will generate all the reports. So this is an example of the income tax liability report for an individual. So say you pull 2010 through 2019 for one of your clients, it's going to generate this income tax liability report, and it's going to put all the information into a nice, easy to read table like this. So it'll have all the periods, the tax assessed for each period, all the failure to file penalties, failure to pay penalties, all the penalties, any interest, the total tax liability, any payments, credits, or write-offs, any refunds, and the unpaid assessed balance, and then it'll give you the current tax due, and it'll total that all up for you at the bottom there. So it's nice to have all that information easy to access, and you don't have to pull it all out of the individual transcript years yourself and do all the calculations. Okay, so here's the compliance report that it'll generate every time you pull multiple years of account transcripts for the client. So it'll show the return filed, the filing date, the filing status, collection status, lien filed, CDP notice of intent to levy, any audit, installment agreement, offer in compromise, or bankruptcy or other legal action. So this is the individual compliance report. Here's the estimated CSED report for an individual. Irina showed you a little bit about this earlier, so you kind of got an idea. It'll calculate all the CSED dates for you, and it'll show you any tolling events that affected that CSED date. Okay, the first time penalty abatement eligibility report, it's going to show you if your clients are eligible for first time penalty abatement. It'll give you a potential abatement amount, so you can go ahead and get that penalty abated for them if you see it there on the report. Okay, the bankruptcy dischargeability report, it's gonna calculate the 3-year, 2-year, 240-day rule dates for you, and it'll show you if they have a dischargeable amount for bankruptcy, either now or later. So that's definitely a handy report to have that is auto-generated when you pull those transcripts. Okay, the account transcript summary report, It's gonna just give you a report for everything going on with the client's account. So it'll show you a installment agreement status, if it's established, tax return filed, interest charged for late payment. So anything going on with their account, any payments they make to the IRS, you will see it here. Payments, adjustments, and other credit reports. That'll show you any payments they've made to the IRS, payments removed, payment with return, payment levy. Everything will be in here on the payment adjustments and other credits reports. And it'll also give you a transaction code as well, so you can look up the code. Okay, for the business transcripts, anytime you pull business account transcripts, it will also instantly generate a transcript report with all these different reports as well. So I'm just going to show you examples of those so you can see the differences and the similarities between the two. So here's the payroll tax liability report, the Form 940 version for the business transcript reports, so you can get an idea of what it looks like. Here's the Form 941 version. So it will generate them for both the 940 and the 941. So you get a chance to see what that looks like. Here's the Form 940 version of the CSED report for businesses. It's really similar to the individual transcript reports, but it's just nice to be able to have that for both individuals and businesses, and it'll generate them both instantly as soon as you pull those transcripts for either the individual or the business. Okay, here's the 941 version. So it will generate all the reports for both the 940 and the 941s. Here's the first time penalty abatement eligibility for Form 940. It works the same as the individual. It'll show you if they have a potential abatement and the amount. Here's the 941 version. So same thing, it'll show you any potential abatement for the client. Okay, so customizable reports. You can brand your reports and adjust them to your preferences, and even create a completely new reports based on the data from the transcripts. So I'm going to show you kind of how that works and the different customizations you can do to your transcript reports. Okay, to customize the transcript reports, the first thing you would have to do is just go to the settings in the top and go to the customizable transcript reports in the settings. So once you click settings and then customizable transcript reports, it's going to take you to this customizable reports section in the settings. There you'll be able to see all the default reports where you can edit them, and then you can also create your new report based on one of our reports or from scratch, however you want to do it. I'll show you kind of how that works in a little bit. Okay, so to create a new report, once you click that button at the top to create a new report, it's going to take you to this page here. So here you'll be able to scroll down and it's going to show all the different default reports that our software generates. So as you can see here, the top section would be our income tax liability report, and it'll show all the columns from that report. Number 2 will be the compliance report, and if you scroll down, it'll go on and on through all the reports. And then from there, you can just select the different columns from each of the reports you want to add to your own customized report. So you'll have to add a period because it has to have years to associate it with, but from there, you can add any column from any of the different reports and add them to your own personalized report. So as you can see here, once you click the green button to the right of the column that you wish to add to your customized report, it'll carry it over into the section on the right, which will be what you've added to your customized report. So from there, you can delete or add any more columns to your report. And then from there on out, once you save it, every time you pull multiple years of account transcripts, it's going to generate all the default reports And then it's also going to generate your customized report as well every time you pull multiple years of account transcripts. Okay, the other customizable aspect of the transcript reports is the logo settings. So if you go to settings and then logo settings, it's going to give you the ability to customize the cover page of your transcript reports. So here you can add your own company logo to the transcript report. You can also decide how you want to align it, if you want it to be top, bottom, center, right, left. You have all those options. And then you can also add your company name, your address, phone numbers, fax numbers, whatever you wish to add to your customizable transcript report cover page, you have the option to do. So here's how it would look, the cover page. So you can see here, logos in the top left, the company name is right there on the top right, and you see the address, telephone numbers, the email addresses. So you can add whatever you want to the transcript report cover page, and you can also choose to not have stuff on there as well. So it's just however you want to customize it. If you want your logo, your company name on there, but you don't want your address or your email, you can add those without adding the other. Okay, so and as you can see here, an easy option for it is you can just check the box to do not include the cover page at all. So if you don't want a cover page for your transcript reports, you can just check that box and it'll just generate the transcript reports without the cover page. But then you also, if you want it to generate the cover page, but you just don't want it to include your company name or contact information, you have that option as well. You can just check the company name and it won't include that, or just check the contact information and it won't include that, but it'll still create the cover page. And with anything else you added, like your logo, it just won't include the boxes that you checked off there. And then right below that, you have the choice to change the title of the transcript report as well. If you don't want it to say IRS transcript reports and you want to put your own title in there, you do have that option right there below where you exclude information from the transcript report. Okay, requesting transcripts in bulk. Another main benefit to pulling transcripts through our software is you can request transcripts in bulk. So if you want to request transcripts for multiple clients at once, you'll just go to our bulk transcript requests section. And this is what it'll look like here. So you'll have all your clients that you've created in the software at the top, and then you can just click that plus sign to add them to the batch, or you can check multiple clients on the left, check the box, and then just click add a batch and it'll add all the selected clients to the batch here. So once they're added to the batch, you will have to select the years and the type of transcripts still. So you'll just click that edit button and it'll give you the option to select the different years and transcripts to pull for that client. If you see the one in red, that means that nothing has been selected for transcript years or type of account transcript, so it won't pull anything for that client until you do select which years you wish to pull. Okay, one option for that though, if you don't want to have to select the years for each client you add to the bulk transcripts, the bulk transcript batch, you can go to your bulk transcript request settings. And if you go to the settings here, you can check the years for the different types of transcripts you wish to pull and save that. And whatever you save into the bulk request settings here, every time you add a client to the batch, it's going to automatically select whatever years and type of transcripts that you've selected in your bulk request settings. It will automatically select those for any client you add to the batch in the bulk transcript requests section.
Well, we're running a little bit out of time, so I'm going to launch our last polling question.
Okay.
And then we'll continue. Do you currently use IRS transcripts delivery from Pitbull Tax? Yes, and I love it. Yes, and I hate it. No, but I'd like to try. No, I just joined to get my CPA credit. What is this? Yeah, you guys humor me. I still see 2% clicked on what is this? Okay, this is going real quick. And I just want to mention that if you answered polling question wrong, don't worry, you still will get your C credit if you answered at least 3 questions. So incorrect answer does not disqualify you. And we're going to close this poll in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So yeah, 44% says yes and I love it, 3% yes and I hate it, and I really disappointed. 38% says no, they don't have it, but they want to try, and 12% joined just for C credit. That's fine. Please continue, Will.
All right, so one of the other main benefits of pulling transcripts through our software versus just using TDS is the daily alerts that our software will give you. So you'll get email notifications on important changes on your client's account 2 weeks before you get a notice in the mail. So if you go to our transcript request page here, you'll see in the top left of the buttons there, schedule alerts. There you'll have the option to select daily, weekly, or monthly. So once you select one of those, it's going to give you alerts when there's any changes in your client's transcripts. So if you set it to daily, it's going to check every day for any changes in your client's transcripts. And if there are a change, it's going to alert you up to 2 weeks before your client receives that notice in the mail. So some of the examples of things that you'll be alerted for before your client receives that notice in the mail is examination of tax return, review of unreported income, collection due process notice of intent to levy issued, account currently considered collectible, lien placed on assets due to balance owed, offer and compromise terms not met, write-off of balance due, lien released, offer and compromise accepted. So when any of these changes come up in your client's transcripts, it'll give you that code there that you see on the left, and then you'll know that your client is gonna receive a notice, one of these notices within the next 2 weeks. Also, full bankruptcy discharge is another example. Okay, customizable alerts. We have all our defaults alerts in there, but you can also add any customized alerts. So if you go to our customizable alerts in the settings, you'll have an option to add any of these customized alerts here. And we also even have descriptions below some of the alerts that might not be known. Okay, to check your secure mailbox, you also have the option to check your secure mailbox in the software. So if you ever have transcripts in your secure mailbox and you want to pull them through the software, you can just click this button, check secure mailbox at the bottom left to do it manually. But the software will automatically check your secure mailbox and pull them into the software if you do have a client created in the software that's matching the first, last, and social. And once it does pull those transcripts in the software through your secure mailbox, it will generate the analytical reports as well. You also have the option to pull the transcript reports in Spanish, or to have it generate the transcript reports in Spanish. So if you just check that box there that says, I also want a copy of transcript reports in Spanish, it will generate all the transcript reports in English as you saw before, and then it'll generate all the same reports translated to Spanish. So an example of one of our transcript reports translated to Spanish is right here. This is our income tax liability report, just translated to Spanish. So if you have a lot of Spanish speaking clients and you want to show them their transcript reports, you do have that option to have it translated to Spanish so it's easier for them to read. Here's an example of the Spanish transcript report in business for a business. So you can just see what that looks like with the translation. Okay, the transcript dashboard is another very good feature that shows the benefit of our software versus TDS, because you're not going to get anything like this pulling transcripts through TDS or any other method for that matter. So the transcript dashboard, it has 4 different sections. This section is the IRS tax liability section. So it's going to show all your clients' tax liabilities from highest to lowest. You can filter it from lowest to highest, but by default, it's going to be highest to lowest. So you can see your clients with the most tax liability down to the least. And it'll show you their earliest CSED, their current resolution, and last updated. And at the top, in the top section here, you can click the Update All button, and it'll update all the transcripts for all your clients at once. And it'll update your entire dashboard. Okay, so the offer and compromise filing section, this is also, we call it the bragging rights section, because it will show your OIC success rate, and it can't be manually manipulated. So this OIC success rate is purely based off of the transcripts that you're pulling for your clients. So it'll show you all the clients that you filed an OIC for, the OIC result, the number of days in review, the offer amount that was agreed upon, the liability compromise, and then the number of pennies on the dollar paid for all your clients that you have done an offer and compromise for. Okay, the first time penalty abatement eligibility section of the transcript dashboard is going to show all your clients that the transcript reports have determined have a potential abatement, and it's going to filter them all from highest to lowest. So if you just click Update All, it'll automatically fill out this transcript dashboard showing you all your clients, which ones are eligible for a potential first-time penalty abatement from highest to lowest. The installment agreements section of the transcript dashboard will show you all your clients that are in an installment agreement. It'll show you their status, their total IRS liability. If a lien's been filed, it'll show you their monthly payment amount, their last payment date, and then their potential default. It'll show you if they've missed payments, if they've defaulted on their installment agreement. So it's just a good way to keep up with everything that's going on with all your clients in a nice, easy to access section where you can just see all of them at once. Okay, so the plans and pricing for our transcript delivery and reporting software, it can either be purchased as an add-on to our full software for $249.97 a year, or $24.97 a month. So you can purchase that as an add-on for that price, or you can purchase it as a standalone version for the same price as well, the $249.97 a year, or $24.97 a month. And there's no period pricing, no contract obligation, and no additional fees for bankruptcy, dischargeability reports, or any of the other reports. And it's free, unlimited customer support for our transcript software. Okay, for today's offer, we are offering 15% off any Pitbull Tax product, but this is offered to new customers only and on new add-ons purchased by existing customers. So it's for new customers only, but if you have the software and you haven't tried out the transcript delivery and reporting add-on yet, you can still get the 15% off adding the transcript add-on to your software. And if you are interested in this offer, you can either call me or my coworker, Dylan. He's a panelist answering questions. And this discount is valid until the 24th. Here's my contact information along with my coworker, Dylan's contact information. So you can give either one of us a call or send us an email about any questions you have about the software. And then you can also go to our website where you can sign up for a free trial and you'll be able to test out the software for yourself.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Will. And sorry, we took a little longer than 1 hour. Thank you so much for joining us today. Again, the offer of 50% off is valid on any product of Pitbull Tax. If you're a new user to the software, you do have ability to try it free before you sign up for a paid version. So click on the link to get to the free trial. And if you have any other questions, I think Dylan and I did a great job answering most of your questions. If you put the question like in the last minute or so, we are going to send you an email with our answers. Thank you so much for joining us today. After this webinar will be ended, please answer a quick survey of how it was done, because we are approved continuing education provider for IRS and NASBA. We have to follow the procedures and ask you how it was. If you need to download your handouts, please do it right now before we close the webinar. Again, thank you so much for joining us today. Please stay safe and seize the opportunity of this situation. Bye-bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks again.